You need clearance, Terry.
No nuts. Holy crap. We lost 5 days somewhere.
What is it, government cheese?
Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed history.
How about that?
All right, so we picked up the Redeye from Zott, and we are dropping that off at Billy Briggs' shop. Billy does 1 or 2 Gen 3 Hemis here. So there's stacks and stacks and boxes and parts and Gen 3 Hemi coming out the nose. So they got a lot of good stuff going on here with Gen 3 Hemis. I mean, literally all numbered blocks and everything from, I don't know, I think it's a 1200 horsepower version to a 1700 horsepower version. They are taking, so we're taking our 797 horse Redeye, cam change to it, I don't know, a pulley change to it, not sure what else, but definitely going to bump up the horsepower on that. So in the grudge car, we will be making a little more power, plus Holly sent us a nitrous kit for it, so it will get a little bit extra from or from nitrous as well. And then back to the other shop we go.
Okay, go.
All right. Hey, get over to our website, grab stickers. We do stickers of almost every shirt design that we do, so there's all kinds of cool stickers over there. Get a bundle of stickers. Help support what we do by buying stickers, buying shirts, buying merch. So definitely appreciate all you guys, and thanks for watching. I flipped that cross member the other way to move it forward.
Why?
Because the way that blower overhangs in the back, that stock manifold and blower, is way past the back of the engine.
So what, the dampener, as giant as that is probably going to hit
Made
that.
sure it cleared. That's why I have this up higher, which then I looked at the rough angle to be able to clear that, and then
How big's the balancer, pulley, and that combo?
9 inches, roughly. So there's the.
You need clearance, Terry.
Well,
You
no.
can't just put it in 4.5 right there.
No,
We
well,
got a 16th.
Yeah, but it'll be, and it only goes 4 3/4 forward, the big pulley. So it'll be in front of this roughly.
Well, you
And then I'll raise-
were at 4 3/8 with your finger.
So,
Okay, so
but I'm gonna go roughly up a little more, but
I would for sure.
but I just want to.
Well,
It
there's
looks
only
like-
so much that you can do.
Right, it looks like the exhaust is gonna be able to go in, no problem there.
Well, yeah, you moved it forward 10 inches from where it really was supposed to sit.
4 inches is a 4-inch swing by flipping that thing around.
So everything else, there's nothing else to not clear. Yeah, oil filter, that's plenty. That's just little dude that's right there on that motor. No other things we don't know about. Valve cover clearance is fine.
Took the weight distribution of an AFX
And
and
that-
moved the engine forward a foot so that it
That-
does nothing.
Blower that's going in here hangs way the hell off the back.
Yeah, that's that stock one. Remember when we looked
I
at
thought
the
it was-
dealership?
I thought it was flush with the back of the block.
That's that one.
No.
Well,
No,
the-
remember it overhang past those, and then it had those 2 tubes coming off of it for the
Is it the
intercooler.
same as the one out there?
Yeah.
And it really hangs off 4 inches out of the over the
Not 4.
back of the block.
The jack needs to go up on the transmission a little bit. Okay. That should be its spot. Now let's take that hoist off there, put 2 bolts in the headers to hold the headers in place, and then let's look at the motor mounts and see what we're going to need to do. for that. All right, so the engine is in the grudge car. As you saw, putting it in, we actually thought with everything we are going to have to come forward, go up higher, but then, I mean, literally this is just a massive beast that sticks up pretty high. So we ended up being able to have enough clearance that it would go back closer to the firewall, back down, and then we got that in place. Motor mounts in place, and Aiden, EJ, Bob worked on the motor mounts for this to get this stuff here. They're in place waiting for, I think the motor must have moved. But waiting for Bob to weld those to the chassis, and then the motor should be in its final position in here. So, but to get the engine in here, where it's at, we ended up having to chop off the air conditioner bracket. So chop that off to clear the steering in this car. The other is that factory stuff is set up with with an oil cooler. That we're not going to be running an oil cooler, but that is literally on the bottom. So then that was interfering here. So we took that off. We're waiting for the adapter that will just let it run a stock, like just the filter without this. So once that goes up in there, that filter will screw right on there. That takes care of that. We did, to cover some of the stuff though, is we did pick it up from Billy's shop yesterday, got it in place. Yeah, worked on getting in place last night to get that set in there. Bobby's probably got a day count. Is there a day count, Bobby?
What's that?
Is there a day count?
Okay. I don't even know.
Okay, Bobby gave up on counting days. So, but they did put a bigger pulley on the bottom. So bigger pulley on the bottom, we're waiting for the smaller pulley to come on the top to spin this faster. They did change the cam in it, valve springs to it. We are going to have to, some of the Gen 3 stuff that you learn is that these plastic pulleys come on the come on certain stuff, but they make another version that's steel that should be more robust. So we're going to change those pulleys out. Probably change this tensioner, because go to a stiffer tensioner. I mean, on my own vehicles with Whipples on them in the past, these tensioners are known to break, as well as stuff with the pulley. So you're trying to make the stuff as robust as possible, especially when you turn it up. So AJ Hemi Tuners, Billy Briggs, did the mods to that. They say that roughly with those mods, those simple mods to this motor, cam change, valve springs, pulley change, that it is worth about 150 horsepower at the crank. So that should take us from our 797 to 800 and 950. So I mean, that should put us in the 950 range with this, without the nitrous on it. So we still don't know if the chassis can handle it. No drivetrain. We don't know if the rear end can handle. We haven't had the rear end apart on this car since we got it. It is it's got a Dana 60 in it. So whatever, I've ran Dana 60s, and actually with that engine on there, ran a Dana 60, so that was 1200 horse. So, and it held up most of the time. So it did have a couple breaks, but that's where we're at, working on those final steps with the motor mounts to get welded in, engine be in place. Then we're going to be able to get a drive shaft length to work on getting a drive shaft made for it. And Bobby is messing with B, and Bobby's on to trying to get the more stuff done on the Durango. Luckily, one thing too is the Holly. We do have a Holly Dominator for this. Holly sent us a Dominator for it. So tried and true stuff. Ran the Holly, and almost all my stuff runs a Holly. So, and all basically runs a Dominator. So that's user friendly, so at least we'll be familiar with the software and stuff that we're running in this. Wires right up to this deal, as well as they sent us all the harnesses, all the stuff to basically the wire kit. We're going to be going with Holley out-of-the-box harnesses. A lot of times, I mean, most of our stuff all has custom harnesses made for it, but in a pinch, definitely plug and play. We're able to use the Holley harnesses and make all this stuff work. The other is that Holley sent us Hooker because we could not. One of the big dilemmas we had with trying to get this engine placement was headers, and we had different headers set to us. We have 4 different sets of headers based on the timeline, trying to figure out what can fit into here because we don't have time for Bob to make a set of headers for this to be able to meet the date. I mean, set of headers a week, so to make a custom set of headers roughly. So, but we're not sure on what the restriction's going to be on these. Bobby, what'd you call these headers? Tubies?
They're
Logs.
log headers.
Is that a technical term?
Well, it's what's on my drag boats and stuff.
Okay. So Bobby calls these log headers. We're not sure what the 950 that we estimate goes down to with log headers, but they do fit right in there, and we thank Holley and Hooker for getting these to us quickly. And it will make the exhaust system plug and play. So that, a down tube, an O2 sensor, and should be good to go, right?
Yeah.
So what did you say you wanted to do fancy on that down tube?
Bring them up through the hood, like a tractor puller.
Oh no, you wanted to put it down to like a 1 inch.
Oh yeah, like a Stinger on a 2-stroke
So,
snowmobile.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah. So
I
then,
think that'd be sweet.
so it'll have a spark arrestor on it, so that'll be good. Like, but literally, I mean, those go in there. We already had those in there. Those fit, and that was part of making sure on the engine placement is we had to make sure that the headers that we could have exhaust system on it, fit it to where it is, fit it to the cross member, and fit it through the tunnel. Like, I mean, lots of stuff, but that's the progress on that. EJ's back in the back. We can go talk to her, but she's working on the aeromotive fuel system for it, or at least fuel tank, and getting a fuel tank installed in the trunk. So that's where we're at the AFX right now. Thanks for watching, guys. Aiden is off on ASN, our real job project today. So, but he did get the brake system wrapped up. So got a new master cylinder in there, new lines, line lock on it, everything with all the connectors to the front, to the back. Like the brakes are new pads on it, and it is at the status that the brakes just need bled, and then we should have a brake system. So that is one thing that is real close to being checked off the list. There's still a lot on that list. Oh, here's EJ's going list. I haven't even looked at it yet. Oh, look, brakes, lines and pads, plus fluid. Well, shit, if she didn't put plus fluid, then we could have crossed something out. But you got fuel system, drive shaft, shifter, Holley ECU and wiring, floor pans, motor mounts. Ooh, motor mounts are getting close to being crossed off. Flex plate converter, exhaust, radiator, steering. Steering has a question mark because steering may just suck, and we're stuck with that. Shocks, mount tires. Mickey Thompson did send tires front and rear for this, so those have to get put on. Relocate the alternator. It may not get an alternator because in this class, the grudge class, technically it doesn't have to be a street car. Will this be a street car? It will be a street car. Whether or not in roadkill, it is completely a street car, yet to be determined. So, oil filter adapter. So yeah, there's lots more that needs to be added to this list, but this was EJ's start to the list. So, and nothing can be crossed off as of yet. And we only have a couple weeks left, so that's where we're at. EJ with 6 bolts in the gas tank might be crossed off soon though. So thanks, guys. All right, let's see what we got going on in the trunk of this thing. Oh,
Hey guys.
we have an EJ. What's she up to? All right, so EJ is working on installing the aeromotive fuel cell into the trunk of the car, right?
That's right.
So Bobby got the flanges welded onto the tank.
Welding up the gas tank for the, what are we calling this thing? Does it have a name? What is it? Government cheese? It's government cheese, if you ask me. But the AFX car needs a mount because they bought this or got this stuff from Aeromotive with no bracketry on it. So Aiden welded in an extra tube. The tube will sit here. He'll drill 4 or 6 holes and mount it to those tubes, and then I don't know, I think they're gonna spray foam around it or something to seal it up.
So Aiden got the front bar welded in, back bar already existed on this car, but then EJ is actually just drilling for the bolts to be able to bolt that in, and doesn't include plumbing, it doesn't include wiring, it doesn't include anything, but I suppose a fraction of something could be checked off the list. Fuel tank installed.
Yeah, unfortunately it's listed as the fuel system.
Oh,
So
see,
I don't even get to cross one thing off.
Bad notes. Maybe you should revise your
part
notes.
by part
That
by
way you
part.
can actually cross something off, so, and say fuel system was installed.
Right.
But we do have, what should be coming today is we do have an intercooler tank coming for this. They'll go back here in the trunk as well. Excess power, I got to hit excess power up for batteries for this to get that part done, and then yeah, then officially we have 3 or 4 things done in the trunk of the 12 or 14 things that probably have to happen in the trunk. So, but if EJ redoes her list, then she's able to cross something off the list. So
Just
make
make-
your list accommodate the work instead of the work accommodate the list.
Got it.
So,
Got it.
so that's update on the Aeromotive fuel system. EJ, any last words?
That's all I got.